Hi, my name is Gregory Leblanc, also Brick Designs, and so we'll start with Midway. This is my diorama of the Battle of Midway. So basically, this is depicting the carrier Enterprise and her task force, kind of at the beginning of the battle. So I have Enterprise in the middle with all of her air arm. And then I have a screen of destroyers. I've got Fletchers, which aren't technically accurate to the battle and task force, but that's what I had. I've got a Wits class right here. And then up on the side, this is the Atlanta class light cruiser. And then up here, I have the Samuel B. Roberts destroyer escort. So basically, this is just kind of a not 100% realistic, but it kind of encapsulates the task force that the Enterprise led during the Battle of Midway.
Yeah. And you're building it obviously a very small scale here, and we'll see examples of some larger ships here in a minute that you've brought. But at this scale, what do you find are kind of some essential pieces to capture the look of the ships, pieces that you find work well for that?
So one of my favorite pieces at this scale is the little 1x1 round plates with the flower petals, because I don't know if there's any that are visible, but if we kind of pull up in pearl gold, I have propellers. So that is an incredibly useful one. Brackets of any and all type, those are hugely useful. Another one that I actually got, I got the technique, I saw it used from McMania first. I talked to Dan, he doesn't know where he found it, but the minifigure hands as AA guns. That's probably been one of the big game changers that I have seen from when I initially started building to now. And then just clips and bars, and those are the huge. Basically anything that lets you kind of get a little bit of a hinge is huge.
Yeah.
So
moving into a larger scale, we'll go over here next. Tell us about the big ship in the back here.
All right, so all of these models are the Battleship Texas in some capacity. So these smaller ones over here are the ship in 1/1200 scale. Those are I've actually teamed up with the Battleship Texas Foundation, so you can actually get those through the Battleship Texas. Those are 1/1200 scale, and then these are 1/500 scale. So this is the ship as she was commissioned, and then that was as she was commissioned in 1914, and then after her rebuild in 1927. Because the Washington Naval Treaty forbade any new battleships and such. So instead of scrapping and just building new, a lot of countries just ended up rebuilding their old ones. So that's why the Texas is still around today. She got saved from being scrapped because of that treaty. So if we move down, we see the 1/300 model of the Battleship Texas. That's in measure 22 camouflage. So I built it to kind of match along with Kobe-sized ships. That's about 2,700 pieces in that. One of my favorite, we were talking about parts earlier, one of my favorite parts, this is where I discovered the flowers for the propellers. So I was really proud of that one. And then also all of this material right here, this is actual metal and wood from the ship. As part of the restoration efforts, they were using that to raise money to go towards the restoration. So, and then we get to the big model of the Texas. That is in 1/120 scale. So that is, as it stands, a hair under 7,000 pieces. Not exactly sure, because when I designed it digitally, the structure was not strong enough. So I had to do a lot of winging it on the internal structure. But yeah, so it's a 1/120 scaled model of the ship. It's also my first foray into a hinged method of hull design. You can see it's pretty smooth on the exterior, as where most of the other ones have a step out. So the internal is a little bit of a mess, but that being my first time doing it. But hey, it looks great. It's still missing all the anti-aircraft guns, just about, because I forgot I didn't get enough wands. But overall, it's pretty much finished, at least above the waterline. I do have the intention to do the below the waterline as well. So.
Is there any functionality in terms of turrets moving and that kind of thing?
Yes. So the turrets do rotate. All of them rotate individually, and then there is some elevation ability. Not a whole lot, just because of the space that I was dealing with. As you can see, those turrets are not exactly the tallest. So, but yeah, it's I'm hoping to come with a 1/35th scale turret next year. Okay. So we'll see how that pans out, but slowly just stepping up scales, right? Yep. So.
Super impressive here. You've got a couple more ships we'll move down to at this end then. So starting with this one on the right, what is this ship?
So this is the Italian battleship Roma. It was one of the Littorio class battleships. As you can see here, it has, I have it in dazzle camouflage, which is basically it's designed to break up the ship against the back, against the horizon and everything. And of course, it has the characteristic Italian bow identification stripes with the red and white stripes. Anybody who's played World of Warships knows that's Italian battleships, Italian warships in general. So, yeah, and it's been, that was kind of a departure from my normal hull style as well, because the lower hull has a completely different torpedo protection system than any other country, basically. So I had to get a little creative with that. Again, lots and lots of brackets on that one. And then I'm trying to think.
And just a very interesting color scheme, like you said too, compared to the all gray we saw on the Texas.
Yes, a lot more on this was available in all the colors I needed versus the Texas, which the Texas is also entirely in measure 21s, and it's the official measure 21 color is somewhere between dark gray or dark bluish gray and dark blue. So I kind of just went with dark gray because that was the easier one to get all the pieces for. So.
And then what's the final ship here?
The final ship over here is the SS United States. It is a passenger liner. It was built just after the end of World War II. I built this one mainly because it's been in the headlines lately for not necessarily the most pleasant of reasons, given that she's going to be turned into an artificial reef. But I designed this because I've been wanting to build her for a while, and then with all the news and everything, I just wanted to kind of memorialize it in some capacity. Yeah.
What's some of the history of this ship here?
So the main history, so it was built it was built as both a passenger liner, but also designed to be converted into a troop transport if need be, and it never really had to serve in that capacity as far as I'm aware. I believe it was built after. I'm a little rusty on United States history, but I believe it was built after World War II, and then it basically served as a passenger liner right kind of when transatlantic flying was taking off. So it didn't serve for that capacity truly for very long. And then it was laid up in, I believe it was the 70s, and then has kind of switched owners here and there ever since. There have been efforts to try and preserve it as a museum, efforts to try and keep it as a hotel, things like that. They never really materialized. So finally, just in the last year or so, it's been announced that they're going to sink it as an artificial reef. So.
Well, thank you for building all of these incredible ships here. It's great to kind of capture just the look of them as well as the history of that. So fantastic work here. Where can people find more of your work online?
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that as Brick Ships Designs. I also have a website where you can see kind of upcoming things and things like that. Those are the main things. I would like to shout out the Battleship Texas Foundation, because if you'd liked any of the models that you saw over there, at least, so the little ones are available, and all the proceeds go directly to preserving the ship. And it's going to be the same thing. It's not out yet, but the 1-300 model that was over there is also going to be for sale as a model through them. And again, all proceeds are going straight to the restoration of the ship. So
incredible work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.